here I have Vinnie, and I think I'm going to give opportunity to him to introduce yourself. So please tell us where you are originally from and when did you come to Australia? So I think we start with this question and then we move on to the next question later.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Brazil and I moved to Australia 2.5 years ago. I first arrived in Melbourne on February of 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Right.
So 2.5 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So tell us, Vinnie, what do you do?
Well, now I'm focused on my business as well as an author and also as a mentor. I'm already doing some mentorship with some people in Brazil, and I'm preparing myself. I'm backing up myself to go to to further next steps on this journey as an author, and with an online platform as well where I can provide mentorship, workshops, and some group coaches.
Oh, great! That's great, and that sounds exciting. Would you like to tell us about your book?
Well, my book is also something where, let's say, everyone has plan in life. Everyone wants to achieve bigger results, right? So what makes some people to achieve higher results and what makes some people to still hold back by what? So it's all understanding of our background, let's say, our unconscious part that keep running, sometimes some limiting beliefs. And my book is my book I will share with people what have been stopping me, not only me, but what I've seen that stopped some people in their life. And I will share it ahead on an upcoming book. Yeah, that's it.
That sounds exciting. That sounds exciting what you're saying, and I think it's going to add a lot of values to my audience, because as immigrants we always have that kind of sometimes mindset that we want to achieve more. We have already stepped into a very big step in our life to leave pretty much everything behind, leave the motherland and move to a new country and start everything from scratch. So we need to have a very strong mind.
Very strong mind.
And
it's a big
challenge.
It
is a big challenge. It is a big challenge. So it's great. It's great to actually hear that you're writing a book about how to overcome that. And we would love to get access to your book. And then when your book is ready, I'm actually looking forward to read your book.
We will share it soon.
Thank you. And why Australia?
Wow. That was, let's say, well, I had my business in Brazil, and I had my own business when I was by age 24. And since then, I've have different businesses, and I met my partner, and we were not really happy in Brazil. So we decided just to live somewhere else, and we decided, okay, so where will we live? And because her profession, she is occupational therapist, we decided to go to a place where occupational therapists would have a lot of opportunities and would be well recognized.
Yes.
Because for me, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, running a business is running a business in
Yeah,
Brazil, in Australia,
yeah,
in the United States,
that's
whatever
true.
is, it's the same
Mm.
thing. Is running
Yeah,
a business, is running a business. You have the
yeah,
same business principles. But
yes.
when it comes to her side,
Mm.
where she has a profession, some countries recognize that profession very well, others not.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, for example, in Brazil, an occupational therapist are not well recognized,
I see.
and while in the other hand, Australia is they recognize
Mm-hmm.
occupational therapists very well. That's basically why we choose Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we couldn't choose any place better than here. We are very happy with the
Oh,
country.
exactly. I always, when people ask me such a question, why Australia? My answer is why not?
Yeah, but by the way, it's an interesting question. Why did you choose Australia?
Why
Why
did
did you
I choose Australia?
choose?
Look, I did have limited options to get
Mm,
permanent residency, and Australia and Canada were two countries that I could actually apply for permanent residency and
mm-hmm,
get the visa to move into.
mm-hmm.
And well, I prefer Australia because it's much warmer. I
Yeah,
don't like
yeah,
I don't like cold weather.
yeah. Canada is pretty. It's very
Yeah,
cold.
I've never been to Canada, but it's got this reputation that it's a very cold country. So I decided to come to Australia, but I had no idea where I'm going. I just packed a
Oh,
suitcase. I just packed a
wow.
suitcase. Yes.
What a, that what you were so bold.
Well, I guess sometimes you just need to jump in.
Hmm.
Jump into the deep part and then start to learn how to swim. And then sometimes that's how you become the best swimmer, or
Uh-huh.
you just struggle. So
What a
yeah, so
beautiful
that
country, isn't it?
it is very nice. It is very nice, I must say. I pretty much look at it as second home. And sometimes I say I feel like I was born in the wrong land, which is so wrong to say that, but that's how much connected I am to the culture, to the nature, to sort of all the possibilities and all the opportunities. And I'm so grateful, so grateful.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, yeah. So the other look, you've been here not for so long. It's 2.5 years.
Hmm.
From other people that I get to meet and get to talk. It's such a short time, but you have achieved so much so far, and I really like to congratulate you for everything that you're doing, and stepping into the becoming a writer is just another big step. So
Oh,
well
wow,
done.
thank you.
Um, are you able to share with us, some of the challenges that you faced when you landed, when you arrived?
Well, the biggest one for me was the language barrier
Mm,
because when I first arrived in Australia 2.5 years ago, I couldn't speak English at all. I couldn't even
mm.
order a cup of coffee for me.
Really?
So,
At all? I can't believe that.
yes,
Wow.
I'm saying the truth. Like, I couldn't speak any English.
Wow.
And, well, uh, well, it is part of my background, but personally, I am also a very sociable person. I
Yeah.
love being surrounded about people. Uh,
Yeah.
as a businessman, I had companies which we took those companies for the products that I used to sell, for example, in my area.
Yes.
We extended that for different 10 states. We covered 10 states in Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, why? I mean, I went I would say, pretty far for the background I came from. My
Mm,
parents are very simple people, no money
mm,
at all.
mm,
And so to be in this part of to be in a position like that, you have to deal well. You have to
yes.
know how to deal with people.
Yes.
And one of my biggest advantage, I think, was the communication skill. I was
Mm,
able to communicate myself very well
mm, mm,
in Portuguese, but once I
mm.
moved in Australia, there I had no communication anymore. Uh,
Yes.
the my
Wow. It's tough.
strongest, yeah, my strongest tool that I had was taking me away. That
Wow.
was really
Wow.
challenging.
It's tough. And I can imagine sometimes your brain is just talking and then you want to express yourself. You want to share what you feel and
Yeah,
what you want to say to people, but you don't have the words.
you don't
It,
have the words, and as like you speak English as your second language as well.
yes.
While we are in the process of learning another language,
Mm,
we firstly start to understand, but we cannot, the let's say we cannot speak
yes.
in the same way we understand. We understand it.
Yes.
Sometimes you understand something clearly, but when
Yes.
it comes to respond to that situation,
Yes.
you got stuck.
Yeah.
You don't know
Yeah.
how to.
Yeah.
So
Comprehension is going to be a challenge when you don't have many words.
that's
How
true.
to put these words together to structure sentences.
This
Yes, I've
structure
been there.
sentence.
I've
Yeah.
been there. I
Uh,
feel your pain. I know exactly how you feel and what you experience. How did you overcome with that? And then your English is now perfect. You're fluent. You can
wow.
express yourself, and now you're an author writing a book in English.
In
How is
English,
that
yeah.
possible?
And by the way, my book will be translated in Portuguese
Yeah, of course.
probably in the next 2 years yet, because the plan is
Oh,
we will, yeah, like that's just crazy. It's just marketing strategy. We will translate it first we will take the book first to India and just then to Brazil. Anyway, it is
wow.
the way it is.
Great. So
But
tell me how you overcome the challenge. How
the
did you how
challenge,
did you improve your English?
well, uh, first I refused to work with Brazilians. When I first arrived in Melbourne, I was
Mm,
growing mad, let's say,
mm,
to work and to trying to make different friends from
mm.
all around the world. I
Yes.
was connecting myself
Yeah.
with people who I would be able to practice my
To
English.
communicate. Yeah.
I was studying online after
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
and my
You
partner, she
studied
has
English online, huh?
online, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Um, and my partner, she's quite fluent in English because she lived in Europe for a couple of years
Yeah.
before I met her. So
Yeah.
um, part of her uni was she did it in Ireland. So she had a clear and fluent English. And since
Yeah.
we moved to Australia,
Mm.
we decided not to speak in Portuguese at home
Mm.
anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think these three strategies helped me a lot to
Yes.
develop the language that I have now, that I
Yeah.
developed in just 2.5 years.
Wow.
Studying
That's
hard
very, very impressive.
and avoid speaking Portuguese as much as I could.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I second that by saying that just exposing yourself to the native language as much as possible is
As
the
much as
perfect
possible.
strategy because your human brain is like a sponge,
Yes,
and you
true.
you pretty much absorb what you are exposed to. So the more
Yeah.
that you expose yourself to English, the more
Hmm.
that you find that linguistic kind of skills. So
Hmm.
one of the things that I personally did, although you feel like watching TV is a waste of time, but TV was constantly on, and I was watching just English TV and
Mm.
English radio. So I was listening to boring music, not music, boring um, sort of talk show radios.
Okay.
Um, kind of just expose myself to the content. And the other thing that I had, pretty much the same thing that you did in terms of not exposing yourself to the language, or 2 years, I did not write or read or watch nothing in Farsi, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that I kind of, it sounds crazy, but I kind of lost my writing skills.
Yes, so do I.
So when I
It happened the
started,
same with me.
yeah, I wanted to write some instructions for my dad in overseas because he was preparing some stuff for me. So I needed to write some stuff for him. And I started to write in Farsi to send it to him, and it felt really weird. That's how much I sort of disconnect myself from Farsi and not watching any Farsi movies, Farsi TV, nothing in Farsi. I listen, nothing.
Yeah,
And
I
I didn't on
was.
my even on my phone. I didn't have the Farsi language font. I wasn't
Yeah,
even fixing anything in Farsi. So it's just to expose yourself to the. Yeah, I agree with you.
I
Yeah, that's
exposed. Yeah,
great.
I exposed myself a lot. That's it.
You have already, I guess, shared with us, the lessons that you have learned from your immigration journey, which I learned from you that, it's all about hard work and it's all about, positivity and be grateful for the opportunities that you have. Is there anything, sort of particular that you would like to share with us, what you have learned from your immigration journey?
Wow, what I have learned from my immigration journey. Well, I think there are so many things. Um, well, I think I kind of enjoy. Um, it is something that I always dreamed about, living overseas. And
Mm-hmm.
once we start having some dreams coming true, it empowers us even more. And I
Mm-hmm.
think, for example, there are heaps of people out there that dreams the same, which is which is like what fascinates me about your book and about your job, the job you're doing as an author, because you will such as give some sort of clarity for people who has this dream.
Mm-hmm.
How will they settle themselves? How will they live and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I've learned my immigrant journey empowered me even more, to
I agree.
pursue my goals, to
I
pursue
agree.
my targets. You
I
start
agree.
to, yeah, we start to think like, like that's possible. We just have to put some work. We just have to have the strategy, follow
Mm,
it, and
yes,
and go.
I agree. I agree. So you become more focused.
Yeah.
How do you sort of sometimes I found during this sort of immigration journey, yes, you have a goal and you said it beautifully that you feel like sometimes you're living a dream life because it
Mm.
was it was your dream. It was your dream to live in
Live
a different
overseas.
country. Yes, live overseas. So, but sometimes life gets a bit tough and challenging, and things doesn't go in the way that you planned, and kind of you get distracted from that dream and from that goal. How do you
Hmm.
refocus yourself, and how do you remind yourself that, hey, Vinny, this is your dream life. This is something that you've been dreaming for so many years, and now you're living that life. How do you remind yourself?
Well, I would say I'm a very goal-oriented person. So books is something that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
For many times I was just losing some faith, let's say, and then you're
Yeah.
just reading some book and you just get fired
Mhm.
up again and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I had because running a business in Brazil and the way I did, it's not an easy job, and I learned so many things there
Mhm.
with my journey as a businessman, in which helped me to sustain
Mhm.
um, this focus for a
Mhm.
long time and for time
Mhm.
enough until I
Mhm.
can, you know,
Mhm.
made me more patient
Mhm. Mhm.
and this type of thing um, just is I use it as a hook to put myself on track again.
Mhm. So you're finding reading books that are kind of giving you the content that you need to refocus. So it's a kind of a motivational strategy.
Well, I was like I said, being a goal-oriented person.
Mm.
When a goal-oriented, the brain of a goal-oriented person works like if I'm having enough learning to keep going and keep going from the books, from courses, from analyzing my everyday, what's going on,
Yeah,
it it also recharges me
yeah,
to keep moving forward.
yeah. Great. You're making a great point. If you go back to 2.5 years ago, would you do anything differently?
Oh wow. Well, I wouldn't say that I would do something different. I would stick with the answer that I am very happy with the choices I made,
Yeah.
with the path I stepped. Uh, but I think I would have worried less and enjoyed more.
Right.
For sometimes during my journey, I was I
Mm.
caught myself like worried,
Yeah.
too much about
Yeah.
something that I knew it was coming. It was just anxiety. It was just
Yeah.
like that type of questions. When it's my time? Will I?
Mm.
When will I pass through it?
Mm. Mm.
But I think, and that robbed me. Sometimes I was with friends. I
Mhm.
was enjoying some time in a cafe,
Yeah.
drinking a cafe. Like, by the way, I am a coffee lover.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
sometimes I was just drinking a cafe and overwhelmed about things that I didn't have to be. I should, you know, I could just enjoy it more my time and worry less. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do anything differently, but I
Mm.
would, I would look at the opportunities, look at the problems I
Mm.
had differently,
Mm.
you
Mm.
know,
Mm.
worrying less.
Yeah, worrying less. Yeah, well, that's a good advice, and I think it doesn't matter if you're an immigrant or not. I think for all the human beings, it's a
Yeah,
good thing to be reminded that sometimes things are just meant to be the way that they're meant to be,
yeah, well,
and just stressing about it or worried about it, it's not going to change it. You just need to
doesn't change.
find, yeah, you just need to find a way to overcome it or just face it. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
making a good point.
yeah, I think, for example, if we have a plan, if we follow it, and
Mm,
if we have faith, there's no way that it will. Life doesn't happen to or against us. Everything
mm,
that happens for us, happens
mm,
to help us in order
mm,
to help us.
mm,
And I think this is a sort of mindset that
mm,
helps me to calm down
mm,
and keep going, enjoy more, worry
mm,
less.
mm.
Like, I will do what I can do. What I can't, I can't.
That's what that's a great lesson. I
Yeah,
just do my best. I just do
yeah.
my best.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my
Yeah,
best.
yeah,
If it didn't happen, oh,
mm,
you know,
yeah. No, good.
keep
That's a great
living.
advice. Yes,
Yeah.
true. And one of the strategies that I have, just sleep.
It's live.
Sleep. Tomorrow is a
Uh,
new day.
yeah, that's it. Tomorrow is a new day. Well,
Tomorrow is a
I
new day.
all yeah, I hang myself on faith. I mean, I'm a person who I believe we all have a creator. Some
Mm,
people will call it God, some people call
mm,
him Allah,
mm.
Buddha, universe, whatever they call.
Yeah.
I think we have a spirit inside all of us.
Mhm.
And I think my creator made me to achieve higher results. When I'm doing something in my life
Mhm.
that it's not meant to be for me, he will take me out of that track and put me in the track that I want, it was made for me.
Mhm.
Uh, that's a sort of mindset that now I have, and it's one of thing that I share on my book as well. When we start to looking at the adversities as an opportunity for us to improve our skills, our abilities,
Mhm.
you know, uh, we move forward.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing is created to stop us. Everything is
Yeah.
created to put us where we have to be.
Yeah, I agree. So it's either it's I agree with you. Either that's something that you call it the creator, or you call it the power of
Or
mind, or you call it
whatever.
the energy. Yes,
Yeah,
it's just something that is empowering you to sort of
absolutely.
move forward and don't get
Forward.
stuck. Yes,
Hmm.
but I think it takes a lot of effort and kind of being focused and conscious about what's happening around you or to you to get to that level of understanding that you
That's
don't
true.
just get stuck
That's
with
true.
in a stage that is bothering you, and then kind of think about it. If you can fix it. If you can't, just move on, next step, and then just um, feel and experience other things in life, because
Yes.
I believe life has got so much,
So much. Life is
so much.
such an amazing
Oh
adventure,
yeah. Oh yeah.
adventure
Yes.
for to live.
Yes. I agree.
So yeah.
I agree. So I guess I would just want to finish my sort of our conversation with the last question that I guess I have on my list, and I would like to ask you, and it's kind of like a more related to um, sort of a gender issue. Do you think there is a certain challenge between again, do you think there is a different challenge for women and for men that immigrate to a new country? Do you ever think about it that way? Do you think it's even something that
So,
needs to be considered, or it's just whoever human, you're a living thing, doesn't matter.
well, I think it has something to consider,
Mm,
but it depends on where we are talking about when it comes to immigrate. For example, sorry, Australia is a country where they really value and they equal.
mhm,
They're very open mind country.
mm.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
I do apologize. Yeah,
Okay.
but I think Australia is a very open mind
Mhm.
country,
Yeah.
and the rights for men and women
Mhm.
are pretty much the same.
Yes.
If we think um, the wages are based in the job position, not based on who is doing that and stuff like that. Um, I think when it comes to Australia, it's not that different. I think that's pretty much almost the same thing.
Mm.
But for example, if a person says, so how is it to immigrate to Brazil? I would say, unfortunately, there is a big difference because Brazilians, they're not open mind yet, and the way Australian is, you know, and a woman who was trying to immigrate to Brazil, for example, unfortunately, they would suffer with this difference between men and women.
Mhm.
This problem the whole world used to have in the very past about men and
Yes.
women,
Sort of
which
there is still inequality between men and women. It still
inequality.
exists.
That's true. It
Yes, and
still
that's the
exists.
same. That's the same issue from where I come
Which
from,
I
and
don't like it. I don't agree with that.
yes, and it's
And
that's one of the main reasons that I'm here.
yeah, Well, but I say in Australia, for example, I don't think women immigrant would face different problem than a man immigrant. I don't
Mhm.
think so. They
Big
very
immigration.
immigration is pretty. It would be pretty same thing,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Mm. Do you have any advice for immigrants
for
as
immigrant.
an author, as a mentor,
Keep
as
walking.
an entrepreneur?
Keep walking. Stick with the plan. Have
Yes.
faith. You know,
Yes.
don't stop.
Mm.
If something didn't happen yet in the way you want, keep going, and it will
Yes.
come.
Yes. That's great. So, having said that, when do we expect your book?
What's that? Sorry.
When do we expect to read your book?
Oh, my book. Well, the launching is um, the launching is for we. I forgot the word I'm looking for. Well, we set the launching for November.
Yep.
It's still
Work in
like
progress.
yeah, it's in
Mm.
progress.
Oh, that's exciting.
Because yeah, it's a lot of stuff to do. It's a lot of
Yes.
stuff to fit in. We
Yes.
have many different people. I'm gathering uh, different professionals to put some stuff to add more value to my readers. So it's not that easy or quick to jam them all.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
it takes.
absolutely. 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 So, am I allowed to promise something to the audience that Vinny and I are going to sort of hopefully in the future run some workshops or online sort of mentorship that they can have access to the content that you are putting together and you're going to deliver, and kind of link that to the immigrants, because I think personally it's a great add value to what the immigrants experience throughout their
Hmm.
journey, and it would be a great opportunity for us to have you on board and learn from the mastermind.
For the mastermind, absolutely. It's a pleasure for me to be part of your book, to be part of your journey, to join into this women's immigrants as well, and to help them with what I can help. You know what I mean?
Great. Thank you so much for your time and all your wisdom, and stay in touch. And all the best for your business, for your journey, and I look forward to read your book.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much for
Thank
inviting
you.
me. And I wish you all the best with your journey as well, with your book. You're doing a great job and keep up.
Thank
Keep it
you.
up.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So talk to you later.
Talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye bye.